A very good afternoon to you all. Thank you for joining us for the UBC Lunchtime News. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark, and it's going to be an hours-long bulletin. This is the weekly news roundup bulletin that brings you stories that made news within the week. Uganda has taken a bold step into the future of automotive manufacturing with the commissioning of the Kira motor vehicles plant in Jinja. President Museveni on Friday said that the milestone is more than just building buses, but building confidence in integrating Uganda's economy from raw materials to finished product. Museveni, who decries high expenditures on imported vehicles, says that this new achievement will drive the country's import substitution strategy on motor vehicles.
In what is proved to be the most advanced vehicle manufacturing facility on the African continent, Kira Motors Corporation has been officially unveiled. President Yoweri Museveni, flanked by government officials, scientists and engineers, commissioned the facility. It is a project, he says, will stride towards Uganda's economic independence.
So for the first time, the transport sector is beginning to be integrated with the industries of Uganda in the form of Kira vehicle plant. Now, once and then it will go into other sectors, because transport is one sector. Then you have education, you have tourism.
The president reminded the nation that Uganda spends over $900 million annually on steel imports and $800 million on vehicles. Such money, he says, must now be retained by processing local iron ore and manufacturing vehicles domestically.
So you can imagine, all the money we get from coffee goes back. So therefore, it is really a disaster to see what's happening in Africa. If when people are just talking about this, they don't talk about this huge hemorrhage. I have not heard anybody talking about it. The newspapers, this so-called media. What are you talking about? You don't talk about your future, how you can survive.
The Kira Motors journey started at Makerere University in 2011, when students and scientists unveiled Africa's first electric vehicle. 14 years later, with government backing and over 407 young Ugandan professionals on the factory floor, the dream has become reality.
We have worked with possible domestic suppliers to start the conversations on how we can start sourcing some of the materials and parts locally, and some of that is already happening. And we see that the future is not only green and bright, but the future is standing on promises that cannot fail, and we are going to work with you to protect these gains.
The plant will initially produce 2,500 vehicles annually, with plans to scale up to 10,000 units. This will be made possible with additional investment of $143 million. Buses, SUVs, pickups and passenger cars will all be covered.
Today, we proudly receive 3 buses from Kira Motors Corporation to support student transportation for field practicals and industrial training. Notably, Your Excellency, 1 bus has been specifically designed to accommodate students and staff with special needs, underscoring our shared commitment to inclusive education.
Beyond buses and cars, leaders say Kira Motors will unlock opportunities across value chains.
Regarding the future, I don't see any problem. That $143 million, we shall get it for sure, but we need to start on the lithium batteries. Because Mr. has told me that lithium battery takes about 60% of the cost of the vehicle. So in order to get all our money here, we must resolve the issue of the lithium batteries made here. I'm talking with a number of investors. They are coming, actually. They are coming in big numbers. We may not even have to use government money only.
The Kira Motors plant marks a turning point in Uganda's industrial journey. Leaders hope it will serve not only local needs, but also position Uganda as a regional hub for sustainable mobility solutions.
So if there's one thing that we have achieved, we have rebuilt our confidence. We are building the confidence not only of Ugandans in ourselves, but also Africans. Missing the 3 industrial revolutions made Africa lose their confidence in what they can do.
For a generation of young Ugandan engineers, the Kira Motors vehicle plant is not just a factory. It is a promise and a sign that Uganda's industrial future is no longer imported, but built at home. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Thank you very much, Henry Okrut. The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, has urged the people of Namayingo and Bujiri district to support NRM candidates in the coming general elections. Among was engaging with the leaders and communities in Namayingo and Bujiri districts, where she contributed over 90 million shillings to different circles, urging them to utilize the resources to alleviate poverty.
For the position of second vice chairperson female, the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, fronted mobilization for the NRM party and its candidates. Speaker Among Friday engaged with leaders and communities of Namayingo and Bujiri districts to carry on the exercise. The leaders in the district, led by the district chairman, Sanya Ronald, voiced out concerns they think would hinder voters from voting the NRM party in the 2026 general elections.
His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, during campaigns, came to Namayingo in 2006. He saw the challenge that the people of Namayingo were going through on issues of water. Our groundwater is saline. Namayingo district borders 2 countries. Actually, we border 4 counties in the side of Republic of Kenya. We have only 1 health center for. Omuntu okutambula from the last island of Namayingo to the mainland to access our health center for needs 6 hours in the boat.
Namayingo District NRM Chairman Raymond Mukisa urged the leaders to work together with the NRM-formed structures by engaging in government programs to alleviate poverty in the district.
Household income. Abantu bavu. Abantu bazirachi. Muline sente munsawo. It is our time now to elevate these people's incomes to another level.
Speaker Among assured the leaders of interventions, urging them to vote NRM candidates in the coming elections for proper development in Namayingo and Bujiri districts.
It's no longer time for us to do the fights. For me, I've come to develop you. Let's work together and see how we can develop this area. And you can only develop this area when you send us good leaders. When you send us good leaders who can be there, who love the people of Namayingo, then we shall develop.
Speaker Among cited how government has increased parish development model funds to 150 million shillings per parish, thereby urging people here to utilize the funds to improve household income.
The 15 million is going to go to the leaders in that parish, the leaders like you.
Ms. Among contributed over 90 million shillings to different SACCOs in the districts, but cautioned leaders of the SACCOs against mismanagement of the funds.
Furthermore, the United Nations resident coordinator to Uganda, Leonard Zulu, has revealed that the UN is planning to relocate about 500 staff from high-cost countries to Uganda in the near future. The move, according to Zulu, will boost Uganda's economy as well as close the gaps that were created when the UN retrenchment staff was globally happening.
Entebbe municipality will soon turn into a beehive of activity for the UN diplomats as the United Nations plans to relocate about 500 staff from the high-cost countries to Uganda. The UN resident coordinator, Leonard Zulu, this morning informed the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robinah Nabbanja, that Uganda will be hosting about 500 staff from high-cost countries.
And there was a letter that the President wrote to the Secretary General offering support in this regard, offering support, and the Secretary General, I understand, responded positively, and there might be about 500 people who relocate to Uganda.
The move, according to Zulu, is expected to boost Uganda's economy, as well as close the gap that were created when the UN retrenched their staff globally, including those who are working in Uganda.
So this will bring employment and help offset some of the job losses that we've been experiencing as a result of the funding cuts. We were estimating that by December this year, about 400 jobs will be lost, 200 international, 200 national jobs.
The revelation came as Mr. Zulu was meeting the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robinah Nabbanja, to brief her about the coming Joint Partnership Forum, slated to take place on the 15th October in Kampala.
I'm informed that the agenda will be around financing for development, and I therefore look forward to a robust, solution-oriented discussion, particularly as we seek rapid acceleration for our economy through the tenfold strategy and the fourth national development plan.
The Prime Minister of Uganda, Robinah Nabbanja, reiterated Uganda's commitment to working with UN family towards building a resilient and prosperous future for Ugandans.
Uganda reaffirms its commitment to working with the UN family and other development partners, including civil society organizations and the private sector, in advancing the SDGs and building a more resilient, prosperous future for our people. We do not want to leave anybody behind.
She also called on the United Nations to consider rendering support towards the flagship government program, the Parish Development Model.
It's only Uganda in Africa that is supporting its population with PDM. Remember, I told you the Parish Development Model, and I requested you to join hands with us so that we can maybe do budget support for us to support our local communities. We still have 33% of our population still trapped in poverty.
So, as we have been doing even before, looking very carefully on how we can strengthen the PDM, how we can support or complement that with activities of the United Nations that are located in various locations.
Nabbanja also wants the UN to support Uganda towards the forest restoration program.
We have deep interest in seeing progress in wetland restoration, as this is vital not only for our environment but also for livelihoods of our people. Recently, the President encouraged me and many colleagues of cabinet that we needed to talk to you. For me, this is an opportunity so that we can look for ways of restoring our wetlands.
And he did also underline what you've just mentioned, the restoration of the wetlands. He also underlined about the 33% that need to be supported. We spent some time with him talking about the refugee response, and I know that this is something that you are also very keen about and you've been following closely.
The Premier also met the UNDP resident representative who appreciated the strong partnership and collaboration with the government of Uganda.
UNDP has generously supported our people. Recently, you gave us a market in Kakumiro. I know it's under construction, and we want to thank you. And of course, the other one you started with, is it in Arua?
We did in
Obongi. Yes. Yes.
Every 5 years, Ugandans go to the polls to elect new leaders, but many often face challenges ranging from electoral violence to lack of awareness about their rights. In a bid to change this, members of the YK Patriots have launched a campaign aimed at protecting the voters in the 2026 general elections, ensuring safety at polling stations.
The YK Patriots Party chairman Nuhu Yowab emphasized that the campaign's primary mission is not only to secure votes for President Museveni, but also to protect them at polling stations.
Election. We have engaged in the grassroots mobilization for voter education, following the 4 principles of NRM, that is patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy.
Nuhu Yowab says that the group's efforts will focus on increasing voter turnout, especially from villages where participation has traditionally been low.
Our main objective is to increase electoral voter turnout and guide the first-time voters, and also address the anomalies and the gaps within the party to ensure that the elections this time are peaceful and transparent.
The party spokesperson Tariq Nkata appealed to local security officials to work hand in hand with mobilizers to safeguard the election process. Nkata also assured the public that measures will be put in place to assist vulnerable groups, including persons with disabilities, the elderly and pregnant women, so that they can cast their votes without fear of violence.
40 senior cadres that are devoted to work for the party and bring victory again. Our strategy is the polling station strategy, where we have already recruited 6 agents per polling station.
To reinforce trust and transparency, the Patriots announced that each polling station will be staffed by 6 persons to monitor activities and ensure fairness. Crispus Arinitwe, Jamil Sekaja, UBC News.
After the insurgency in northern Uganda, organizations are doing what it takes to defend the rights of children to see them return to school. Together with the project by ADRA, Uganda is changing lives in northern Uganda, implemented in districts of Agago, Kitgum, Lamor and Pader. The project is dedicated to improving health-related risks and rights for the most vulnerable. Together with our other partners, they held a mid-term project to review at Fairway Hotel in Kampala, and details are in this report.
Funded by Global Affairs Canada through ADRA Canada, Together project has focused on sexual and reproductive health, prevention of gender-based violence, and nutrition support for children under 5 and their caregivers. Other community practice mid-term evaluation destination workshop, organizations that include Oxfam Care, Right to Play, and others emphasized equipping health workers with skills to deliver inclusive and respectful care.
The uniqueness of the event is that we are learning from one another in terms of how one organization has been able to, let's say, utilize certain methods or techniques in terms of tackling the issues of gender-based violence, the issues of teenage pregnancies, and the issues of sexual reproductive health, to ensure that we can learn from one another and we can be able to also improve what we are doing in our different organizations, but also that this is going to be a continuous process.
They looked at empowering adolescents, especially girls, with knowledge about reproductive health, and also support survivors of gender-based violence with response and safe spaces.
The standard of living remaining high, especially for the adolescents. Much as they're engaged in different economic activities, we are trying to build their capacities and skills, but you find, yes, affordability for some of the services is still a challenge. So they need more hands to be supported, and I think we need also to rethink the approach of how are we skilling them.
So that means that we have more uptake of short acting as opposed to long acting and reversible methods and permanent. So discontinuation is actually inevitable because a young girl is delaying pregnancy if they're in school, or if they're out of school, it is for spacing.
It's very important for us to align with the national development plans and adolescent health implementation plan of 2025.
Together project also strengthens nutrition services, ensuring caregivers and young children receive the guide and support they need to grow healthy. ADRA Uganda, supporting the Together project, looks at more than an initiative that involves dignity, equality and healthier communities in northern Uganda. Ngabo Emon, reporting for UBS TV.
The Cancer Aid Organization, together with the Dukande Women Group, have today launched over 100 breast prostheses to the Uganda Cancer Institute in Kampala. The non-profit organization, founded in 2009, empowers communities through cancer awareness, early detection, counseling and patient support. In 2016, it launched a project to produce breast prosthesis pads used by women who undergo mastectomy after recognizing that many rural women could not afford them.
Personally, even other women, we used to fear, thinking they're going to cut off our breasts. Now we shall lose our fame in community. But several times she has come to us to encourage us. So we have come out to say, no problem. If it's really life-saving, then let it be cut off and we shall live. Good, because many women have lost their breasts and then they can't afford to buy. So when such groups of women come to really support us, it is such a blessing.
Having a breast cancer diagnosis doesn't mean that somebody should walk with a chest that is not the same as it was before. So when these prostheses come in, they help to build their confidence and also give the patient a hope that after a cancer diagnosis and after a breast surgery, they can still wear their clothes and be smart, and that improves on their dignity, it improves on their hope, and it improves on their also uptake of breast surgery, because that's a big challenge that we also get, that patients wouldn't want to have surgery, which most time is life-saving, just because of cosmesis, because of the way they look after the surgery. And as a country, we have a big proportion of our cancer patients with breast cancer being young, and they are most affected with issues to do with being smart, having dignity, and walking around with people not pointing them out, because that increases the stigma.
And, this came about when this Cancer Aid Organization came to us as a group to talk to us about cancer awareness, and the idea of breast prosthesis came from that. And going forward, we want to do more, and we hope that these other well-wishers will all come along and will help our fellow women.
Furthermore, farmers in eastern Uganda are set to benefit from the Enhancing Access to Markets and Agricultural Transformation project aimed at equipping grain producers in the Sebei, Busoga and Bugisu sub-regions with modern machinery to boost productivity and improve food security. The project is implemented by Kilimo Trust and is funded by Alliance for Green Revolution Africa till 2027.
In Busoga region, farmer cooperatives such as Ndefakulia Farmers Cooperative and Bulamaji Maize Farmers Cooperative have received bean threshers and maize milling machines respectively.
From us as Kilimo and EMIAT project and funded by Agra, we hand over this bean thresher to improve quality.
We find that most of the farmers, or some, are still drying on the ground. Yeah, and so we need much effort to go and sensitize them. We need field visits, we need follow-ups.
And as I speak now, they have provided us with a maize sheller, which maize sheller can actually shell 20 bags in 1 hour. We are grateful that the challenge we have been facing is now solved.
The project not only provides equipment but also empowers farmers with life-saving knowledge and aflatoxin controls on post-harvest loss management. As Diana Nahubulwa, the project team leader, explains.
For Kilimo Trust, we are specifically handling a component on quality grain. So we train farmers, we are equipping storage facilities, we are training on different management practices to ensure quality grain traded. So for this particular activity, we are giving selected cooperatives different post-harvest handling equipments, and we are giving free. It's not that a cooperative contributes a certain percent.
Maize, beans, and rice. So in those value chains, they are the commonest value chains in Busoga region. So the gap, like I say, is we want to mitigate in a way that first we bring the knowledge, because they say knowledge is power. So farmers need to understand the knowledge of post-harvest handling, and that we are handling through training.
Distribution of the machines was based on needs assessment, with each region receiving equipment tailored to its priority crops. Bugisu, for example, the Busoba Seed Producers Organization received a solar dryer to help them dry rice and other grains more quickly and safely, while the Buwekanda oilseed producers were given a maize sheller.
So a solar dryer comes in handy to fight that. So you don't worry about contamination, you don't worry about aflatoxins, then also the time of drying, because it uses this white sheet that you see is called a UV micron, 200 microns. It attracts the sun and compacts the sun to go to your crop.
With this support, farmers are optimistic about adopting safer post-harvest practices and unlocking access to higher value regional and export markets.
We were having challenges on the markets, post-harvest handling, especially on threshing and drying. And as a result, farmers were incurring a big loss. Now, this project is all about enhancing markets to our produce, so that as farmers, when we bring our produce together, in bulk, in big volumes, we can access good buyers and even good prices.
And the other issue is at times when you have a lot of maize, the prices go low. It's also a very big challenge.
Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Uganda's aspiring public servants have concluded the Public Service Commission's recruitment exercise, with many candidates praising the process. Applicants praised and described the Commission's procedures as robust, transparent, and merit-based, assuring that opportunities are open to all regardless of influence or connections.
A total of 43,123 candidates were shortlisted for aptitude tests held between September 16th and 26th of 2025 at Mandela National Stadium, Nambole. The tests were highly competitive, with 6 candidates vying for vacancy. Special arrangements were made for candidates with disabilities, including extra time and separate interview rooms.
We have been able to look after people with special needs. They've been given priority every day when they come. They even have a special facility where we hold them and give them priority to enter. For some, like the blind, the deaf, they have a special room where they are doing the exams, and they are given more hours to do the exam. So all in all, I think we are moving well.
Public Service Commission Chairperson Winnie Agnes Kabogoza Musoke emphasized that merit remains the guiding principle in all sections.
The people in the holding tent are disciplined, and they are moving in shifts, in their hour shifts, to the exam room. Each shift holds about between 350 to 400. We are very grateful to the Uganda Bureau of Statistics because they gave us 400 tablets which we are using for the exercise.
Secretary of the Commission, Dr. John Mbabazi, noted that the recruitment process also includes oral interviews, background checks, and final deployment. Test results are expected by October 6th, with interviews scheduled from October 13th to 31st, and final appointments are anticipated on November 10th, 2025.
This year we set exams at 40 minutes. At the end of the 40 minutes, you log out. When you log out, the system marks you and gives you your mark. Or if you haven't finished, by the time the 40 minutes are over, the system automatically logs you off and marks you and gives you a score. Now the good thing with that is that if you get 90, then you have chances that you'll come for oral interviews. But if you have got 10, 20 and so on, then you go knowing very well that you'll not be being called for the second round. That way we make people who may be conned. Somebody calls you, says, give me so much money, I'll put you on the list for people to come for oral interviews. The system marks you and gives you a mark. You go home knowing whether you have hopes or not.
On the 6th day of the exercise, Head of Public Service and Secretary to Cabinet Lucy Nachobe visited the stadium to assess the progress. She urged applicants to prioritize service over personal enrichment and warned against pursuing luxury lifestyles or performing pressure groups immediately after recruitment, noting that such actions undermine institutional discipline.
Wrong to join it for the right reasons. And there is only one right reason, and that reason is serving the public. So, all of you seated here are longing to serve the public. True. I believe that's why you are applying. You are not applying to drive a Pajero, to have a Lidica, to have a mansion, to have lots of monies with you, to sit there and brag and wear suits and dresses. I hope you are longing to come and serve the public.
Nachobe highlighted the ongoing reforms, including annual performance reviews and restriction on contract extensions for retirees, aimed at enhancing accountability and creating opportunities for younger personnel.
By the time you get into the first, second year, that thing will have changed. That permanent and pensionable will be depending on how you deliver every year. Every year we should be able to evaluate and send out people who are not delivering. So for now they can enjoy those who are there, but soon that enjoyment will end.
The Commission continues to reinforce Uganda's commitment to a profession, competent and ethical public service.
Furthermore, Africans have been urged to embrace the spirit of Pan-Africanism and unity to foster development. This call was made by the General Kahinda Otafire during Kwame Nkrumah's Day public lecture at Makerere University under the theme Transforming Young African Minds. He highlighted on the need for Africans to adopt the use of Swahili as a common language to foster development and unity.
Pan-Africanism, Pan-Africanism, activism, activism,
outward, dangerous, tribal identities. What's the difference between this Muchiga and this Muteso? This Muchiga Kwame and this Kwame from Muteso. You see, they are both Kwame. When I look at them, I don't know what's Muteso and Muchiga, they don't look the same. Old head, what? demographic disadvantage and fighting each other because I get
with our ancestors, our leaders, people that have come before us and have lived and interacted with the Oromo as their home. And also to talk about Pan-Africanism, which is not exclusively an issue of Oromo or Oromo, but also an issue for the entire country, entire African continent. That we need to be liberated, we need to be able to stand out, identify and support each other, looking at and drawing from the ideas advanced by Kwame Nkrumah, among the many including African unity, among the many including industrialization, home-bred solutions for our own problems. So we thought that we need to tap into his wisdom, into his ideas, and see how these propel us forward as young and growing Ugandans, growing Africans who have a mantle to take on after such powerful leaders who left a big legacy for us to learn from.
So young people, I want that you think amongst yourselves, change the frame of thinking, recognize that you are at the peak of life, and use that unique set of circumstances constructively to make your contribution in your generation. That is my appeal to you.
The Karimajong have commended Moroto Regional Referral Hospital for improving service delivery at the facility. This was during the annual baraza organized by the hospital with support from doctors from Africa aimed at engaging hospital stakeholders and the community, providing accountability and receiving feedback.
The second annual baraza was held at Moroto Regional Referral Hospital in Moroto Municipality.
It's a very important event for us as a hospital, whereby we bring together all stakeholders, including our clients, the community, and the friends of the hospital, to reflect on what we have done well, what we've not done well, and where we need areas of improvement.
Ambulance, if you say you're going to do this, the hospital do this, they'll tell you something for the ambulance fuel. And I want us to clear that up.
So we transfer patient to my time specifically, not to Mulago, not in Bala, then we return here for that. We take to my time, specifically for X-ray. The costs I was talking about, the ambulance, the fuel, to and fro, and the management here is free. Now, the start cost of X-ray itself in my time, the hospital doesn't do that. Maybe that is where the crime may be.
Meeting, residents raised concern about the occasional drug shortages at the facility.
Your planning. You plan and you see which type of diseases are here, which type of drugs are supposed to be here, which one entry from here they need too much. To help them not to be going to the clinic.
When we are budgeting, we budget for Karamoja region, which is 9 districts in Karamoja, from Amudat up Karenga. And that one has a population of 1.4 or 1.5 million Ugandans. Now, we normally have a per capita attendance. Per capita attendance is how many times a person will come to, will interface with the hospital in the OPD. The per capita attendance of this hospital has increased. The national average is 1, but ours, the last time I checked, was 1.8. This is a good idea, that's a good suggestion, and I would like to implore even our partners here, they can find some resources, they can support us, so that we can have that, we address that gap.
Dr. Mpanda explained the Ministry of Health his plans to bring new X-ray equipment.
So the attention of Ministry of Health, and Ministry of Health is working around the clock to see that they supply us an X-ray. As of yesterday, they told us we are going to have an X-ray which is going to be installed here within a shortest time possible.
Updates were also provided on the hospital mortuary and how services are maintained, despite losing donor funding.
I've got indications that they are likely to identify funds for us so that we can put up a state of the art, at least a modern mortuary, which is going to serve us in that. It at regional level, and right now we are doing it at the district level and going down to the lower health facilities, including the community. We want to ensure that it's one that everybody speaks integration. If you are at the health center and you have gone maybe for antenatal, a pregnant woman has gone for antenatal services, it should also be tested for TB. For example, this region has a lot of TB. We should also be tested for TB, should be tested for HIV, should be tested for other conditions.
Residents shared their views on service delivery at the facility.
Very good work. Those who get accidents and what any time, casualty is doing very good work. So we appreciate.
Example that is not happening in many other regions all over Uganda. But this is really very important to hear the feedback and accountability from the community. And I wish this would have been done all over Uganda.
Can be pushed and still we got. But the third one, which has all these facilities, must take over. We want to remind the government of Uganda that it has not taken about 3-4 years without us getting another third.
Moroto Regional Referral Hospital serves over 1.5 million people in Karamoja and neighboring districts in Teso, as well as patients from Kenya and Southern Sudan. Morini.
Vandalism is an offense punishable by up to 10 years in jail.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Step into a world of excellence, comfort and pride with Royal Foam Furniture, crafted to perfection right here in Uganda. We bring you state-of-the-art living room furniture and bedding products at affordable prices. Our wide variety of mattresses include orthopedic, pillow top, spring mattresses suitable for institutions like hotels and many others for home comfort. With every piece telling a story of royal excellence, our products are built with the highest quality materials made to last. Experience royalty with Royal Foam Furniture, proudly made in Uganda, so buy Uganda and build Uganda. Visit our showrooms at Ginger Road, Chambogo Junction, Bukoto Chisasi Road, and on Victoria Mall, Entebbe, on the first floor.
Ebiseera by'okuzzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu keno kalipagano ka bidduka. simanya kuzunga na banka slips. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
Welcome back. You're still watching the weekly news roundup edition of the Lunchtime News, this bulletin that brings you those top stories that made news within the week. Now, a directive was issued instructing police officers to refrain from arresting or disrupting the activities of sex workers in divisions across Kampala. A senior presidential assistant on monitoring service delivery in Kampala, Yiga Chisachamukama, visited sex workers in Lubaga and Makinde divisions to engage them directly. These are the details.
A senior presidential assistant on monitoring service delivery in Kampala, Yigachi Sachiamukama, has declared frequent interruptions by police officers and highlighted the challenges sex workers face during their work.
We are going to meet them in different places in the regions of Kampala, but you have heard the women are crying for police of arresting their customers after serving them.
Abasajja batuzaddemu ne batulekerera atuteerawo ssanke ezibeerawo nga wembaafire katugeza abaana baddayo ku ssomero nsobola okukyukirawo kasita bamanya nti mbinneeko mbeera mu kikopo ekitiifu nga naffe tugenda okgenda kwamala ne tubeera basiru tuba tunoonya kyakulya naye muzeeyi tatufuddeeko.
The sex workers appealed for the legalization of their services and better access to healthcare support.
Ng'amateeka agatuyolesa ge batusibiramu gakyaliwo era obwandeekwa jange tetugenda kweyagaliramu atuyambe ku nsonga z'okujjanjaba nadde obulyo sisirimu yekka waliwo infections nyingi.
Chisachamukama assured them that their concerns are being addressed, noting that plans are underway to establish circles aimed at improving their social and economic welfare.
So we are going to register them, give them certificate, open for them account and make them a circle. So which means we are going to legalize them.
Empowering them so that they can start up, they can have a small start up some small business, small enterprise that can help them also support their families.
He emphasized that no police officer is allowed to arrest or interfere with sex workers, warning that those who will do will be held accountable.
From today I give a directive on behalf of the president. The police should not tamper those women, should not even go that side. So it is not even a request, it's a directive.
Ofisi ya mukama wange RCC ne yange ya CLO tugenda kubeera omuntu omwe era tukwatagane mu kugonjoola ebizibu ebyo ebibasooma.
Politicians and security officials who accompanied him pledged their full support for the initiative.
Welcome the idea of the party to empower them through their circles, to teach them more about their health, how they can keep their children alive and educated and in better conditions as we protect the gains of this country.
Transformation. We want to make sure we chase peasantry behavior, peasantry conducts. Okay? We get, but the more we get, the less we are gained. So many still keep on demanding.
Over 500 sex workers attended the meeting where they were urged to engage responsibly in the upcoming general elections.
And in more news from this week, survey 2024 Education Inclusion Survey conducted by the Uganda Federation of the Hard of Hearing conducted in Luwero, Bududa, Nebi and Chenjejo districts has exposed glaring gaps in accommodating learners with the hard of hearing disability. Findings show that most teachers in primary school and secondary schools, which are public, are not knowledgeable in handling the unique needs of learners with disabilities. Let's take a look.
Experienced hear loss, my right ear shut down.
To address this glaring gap in accommodating learners with disabilities among caregivers and education stakeholders, the Federation has commissioned a handbook.
There was a problem of
the teachers not knowing what to do with them. They were more conversant with deaf children and they were conversant with sign language, but they didn't know what to do with these children who were not necessarily totally deaf.
Government has a lot of guidance on supporting inclusive education, but again, there is nothing explicitly for the hard of hearing.
The Ministry of Education and Sports acknowledged the importance of such privately supported initiatives in complementing government efforts, especially in addressing existing gaps.
The ministry does not refuse people from coming up with innovation, especially through research. So what the organization has to do, like for the case of this handbook that they are launching today, they have to work closely with the ministry and they come and present their work to the ministry structures, and so that they are approved. They look at its quality and how it can be embedded into the already existing materials.
The 2024 report that informed the handbook also shows that only 9 out of the 700 sampled hard of hearing students had ever used a hearing aid.
Much as they need a hearing aid, they cannot access them. They told us they are very expensive. Their parents cannot afford them.
Hard of hearing disability refers to a condition where a person experiences hearing loss ranging from mild to severe, but still retains some residual hearing. Individuals often struggle with conversational speech or certain sounds, but can benefit from assistive devices such as hearing aids, cochlear implants, and captioning. Wadulo Arnold Mark for UBC News. Grant Thornton has laid the foundation for the third phase of a classroom block construction worth 600 million Uganda shillings at Namulonge Secondary School, Gayaza. According to the CEO of Grant Thornton, this initiative is part of the firm's corporate social responsibility (CSR) programs.
Thornton, an independent auditing firm, continues to support government initiatives through annual investment drives, particularly in education. This year's CSR Day, marked international every September, included a blood donation drive targeting 1,500 units, a tree planting exercise at Chambogo University, and a meal sharing event with beneficiaries at East Kololo Primary School.
We have is that we are collecting blood through the community. And we have about 6 different places where the volunteers from Grant Thornton, the members of the Grant Thornton, are going and promoting to the public for the purpose of collection of the blood for saving life of people.
The firm also began the third phase of classroom block construction at Namulonge Secondary School, a partnership dating back to 2015. The CEO emphasized that such initiatives are part of Grant Thornton's ongoing commitment to improving lives.
And with that investment what we have made in this community and in this particular school over a period of last 6-7 years, the number of students have grown from 350 to today they are 1,100 students. So we have laid the foundation and we are expected to inaugurate those blocks somewhere end of January or early February.
Uganda Revenue Authority Commissioner in charge of domestic tax, Dennis Kateba, applauded Grant Thornton and encouraged other organizations to support similar initiatives, particularly in environmental protection.
When firms like yours step forward to align business with sustainability, equity and inclusion, you help shape not just better companies, but a better society. I urge Grant Thornton to continue expanding its CSR footprint across geographies, sectors, and themes. The challenges we face, be it climate change, inequality, or education, need all hands on deck.
He added that such CSR initiatives not only complement government service delivery, but also foster positive mindsets in society.
Whether it is volunteering time, sharing skills, or mentoring youth, it's heartening to see professionals using their talents to uplift others.
Since 2015, Grant Thornton has invested in education by renovating school blocks, constructing new classrooms, setting up a computer lab, providing desks, laptops, scholastic materials, and supporting students through a bursary scheme. Suzanne Nabugude for UBC News.
A psychosocial officer and team leader at Tasso Mulago, Godfrey Chikomeko, has advised in adopting good health practices among the islanders to prevent the spread of infectious diseases. This was during a medical camp providing essential health care services to over 500 islanders at Kimi Island, Mokono District.
HIV/AIDS prevalence, tuberculosis and communicable diseases such as STDs, malaria, typhoid and respiratory infections have become common among the residents of Kimi Island in Kome Sub-County, Mokono District. Kimi Island has no functional hospital, forcing patients to travel by boat to Kasenyi landing site, then to Entebbe Hospital for medical care. A psychosocial officer and team leader at Tasso Mulago, Godfrey Chikomeko, calls for regular medical visits conduct.
We want to implore the community here, if you cannot abstain, then utilize the condoms that we have. We have quite a number of them, and we want to urge them to come to the health facility here even when we are gone, because we are leaving some cartons with the health facility workers.
Nile Humanitarian Development Agency and Time to Help Netherlands have supplied drugs, laboratory kits and dental supplies to Tasso to extend health services to the people of Kimi Island. The project manager, Nile Humanitarian Development Agency, Kasim Kalozi, called for support initiatives that improve health care in remote areas.
As an organization, we partnered with the Aid Support Organization to extend this initiative to these people with an intention of making sure we provide much well-needed basic health that we believe can serve as a lifeline or life-saving support to these communities.
Kimi LC1 chairperson Abdul Karim Chegua held the valuable contributions to the community.
Kubizinga wazibu nyo kutuka nenjalo kwebaza abasawo bonna nga begattira mu bitongole byonna ebize Tasso Nile kulabika nti bajjo kulabika nti batuyamba tufune obujjanjabi era tuli basanyufu nnyo nga banakimi era nga banabizinga.
The medical health care services seem to call for collaboration and community involvement in addressing health care challenges in remote areas.
Cure Children's Hospital Management in Mbale City, in partnership with the local leaders and community members in Mbale City, have launched the 2025 Cure Run kit for 1 billion Uganda shillings fundraising campaign for the 9th Cure Brain Surgery Ranula Run, with a call to the government to increase on its budget towards this specialized hospital for effective and smooth running of services. This year's Brain Surgery Run has attracted a number of partners with the intention to strengthen financial muscle and to facilitate a bigger number of beneficiaries that flock the facility for surgical services.
To sign up, it's 30,000 shillings to make a difference in the life of a child, and you'll receive a beautiful run kit. And as we said, bring 5 or 10 friends with you.
And thank you, our hospital, for the treatment, the support, and the love.
Mainly the funders of this project have been foreigners, but it is good to instill the same generosity within the local community. As much as we are having foreign aid in this project, the local aid also plays a big role, and these are lessons that can trickle down into to our children.
Nothing is ever too small. Any contribution matters. So my God, I was talking to the co-chairperson last night, and she said the most important thing is to appreciate each and every one of you for all that you do in whichever way to ensure that you are making a contribution.
Cure, I mean, what you do, you restore happiness, you restore dignity, you provide a future.
It takes more than one hand to actually contribute or develop a community. We thank government for contributing the 12% of whatever is needed within the operations and the day-to-day activities of the hospital. But of course, as children of Uganda, we pray that when they are doing the budgeting, this budget can increase.
It's helping all of our vulnerable patients. So I invite you to give generously. You know the goal of 1 billion shillings.
And that brings us to the end of our UBC Weekly Roundup edition of the Lunchtime News. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark. We do compel you to stay tuned for more programming coming your way. UBC Inspiring Uganda. And also do remember, I am styled by La Vie Boutique, located on Grand Imperial, Shop 6 and 8, right behind of Uganda.
UBC Inspiring Uganda.